We're recording this on May 22nd. Right now, from a structural perspective, Bitcoin still favors the short side. There has been some potential for a short-term bullish shift to develop, but we still haven't seen a confirmed continuation structure to the upside. So today I'll walk you through the key Bitcoin trading levels I'm currently watching and explain the reasoning behind them. As for my current positions, my XRP long is currently sitting around break-even near my entry, and my Litecoin short is still open after taking some partial profits. Later in the video, I'll also go over both the Litecoin and XRP charts. But first, let's start with Bitcoin. Right now we're on the 1-hour chart. The first area where a short-term long setup could become available is if 76.4k gets taken out. If we look at the structure on the 1-hour time frame, we can see that price created this bullish move. And right before that bullish leg started, the final low was formed around 76.4 thousand. That means there are likely a large number of stop losses from short-term long positions sitting below this level. From a smart money perspective, sweeping this low creates enough liquidity for larger orders to get filled. At the same time, if this low gets broken, it overlaps with the order block that originally created the first bullish shift in structure. So this area could potentially become a valid short-term long setup. But just as a reference, I personally do not plan to open a long immediately when this first low gets swept. The reason is simple. Even though this low visually looks like there is liquidity underneath it, the bullish structure that formed here failed to break the previous high. In other words, this low never created a new structural expansion. Because of that, I don't think there's enough liquidity sitting below this level to justify opening a long position. Right now, the inducement sits below 76.4k, and below that we have the current structural low at 76,000. This is where sell-side liquidity, SSL, is concentrated. So if Bitcoin actually drops into this area and I decide to build a long position here, I am prepared to hold through a sweep of this low. If Bitcoin sweeps liquidity below 76,000, I'll actually look to add more size into the long. But if price confirms a clean downside break without a liquidity sweep, then any short-term longs will likely be closed. Now let's move on and check the external structure. We'll shift from the 1-hour chart to the higher 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin is still technically maintaining its broader bullish structure. That means the low that initiated the latest major expansion sits at 74.9 thousand. If 74.9 thousand ultimately breaks to the downside and confirms acceptance below, then the external structure also shifts bearish. And at that point, we could start expecting a deeper retracement across this entire move. Once that downside break actually confirms, I'll share the next trading levels separately. Now let's also look at the Bitcoin short areas. We can never predict future price action with 100% certainty, so it's important to always prepare both long and short scenarios in advance. The closest short setup I'm watching is this internal bearish shift zone. This bearish impulse created the current downside structure, and the order block sits right before that move. The area is roughly between 78.7 thousand and 79.2 thousand. At the same time, it overlaps with the 0.5 retracement of the current bearish structure, so this is my first short area. But the larger swing short opportunity, the one with potentially bigger returns, would be up at 82.8 thousand if Bitcoin sweeps the major high. 82.8 thousand is also a very clear high, even on the daily time frame. Because of that, there's a strong chance that a large portion of short positions open throughout May have their stop losses sitting above 82.8 thousand. And this is exactly the kind of liquidity pool that smart money can use to execute larger positions. So I've shared both the Bitcoin long areas and short areas I'm currently watching. Now let's move over to Litecoin. Litecoin is one of the positions I'm currently holding as a short. After the initial entry, I already secured some partial profits, and up until now there still hasn't been a meaningful sign that structure is shifting bullish. So for now, I'm planning to continue holding the remaining position through the weekend with stop losses in place, and if price breaks lower and takes out the low, I'll look to secure another round of partial profits. Now let's move to XRP. XRP is currently my long position. Price has moved back close to my average entry, and as we can see on the 4-hour XRP chart, the most important low right now is sitting here, $1.34. If this low breaks, then realistically, a large portion of the long positions open throughout May will likely get stopped out. Personally, I believe this is currently the area with the largest concentration of stop losses. That's why I'm planning to continue holding my current long unless this low gets taken out. If we see a liquidity sweep below this low, I'll actually look to add more into the position. But if price confirms a clean downside break without a sweep, then I'll close the position. So today I shared both my current positions and the next Bitcoin trading levels I'm watching. I hope today's breakdown gives you something useful to apply to your own trading, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching all the way to the end.